Did you know there was a new Tom and Jerry show? Because I sure didn't a month ago. Apparently it's already been airing in Canada, but just started airing here. In the US, that is, where I live. It started airing on Cartoon Network at 5:30 on Wednesdays. I know there's been a lot of modern iterations of the cartoon, like with all the direct-to-DVD movies, the 90s cartoon when they were kids, as well as the movie, which is terrible. But this iteration caught my attention because it was sort of going back to basics. And I'm really glad they're trying to do that, because I'm a big fan of the classic shorts. I had a VHS full of a bunch of the shorts when I was a kid, and I watch it constantly. There's just something about Tom and Jerry that I really find funny. And I know a lot of people don't like Tom and Jerry because it's just slapstick, but there's a little bit more to it than that. I think it's the absurdity of the slapstick is what makes it funny, and how Tom and Jerry always morph into different shapes when they're hit with something. You can tell that the animators back then had a lot of fun drawing them in ridiculous proportions, and you can actually feel a bit of weight to the slapstick. You can actually feel the comedy hit in Tom and Jerry. At least that's the best I can explain it. Nostalgia Critic did a video on this, which I think you should check out. I'll link it in the description below. It's really good. He explains like why Tom and Jerry is funny to him, and why it's funny to me too. But that's all about the classic cartoon. What about the new one? Well, this new one is animated in Flash, and they're doing 11-minute segments rather than like 6 to 7-minute segments, which I think really hurts it. I think Tom and Jerry isn't meant for 11 minutes. It needs to be shorter than that. Otherwise, it just feels dragged out. And I hate to say it, but Flash makes the weight of the slapstick feel less effective. One thing I love that they did, though, is they kept the original screams from the classic shorts. So when Tom yells, he yells like he does in the originals. There were 2 shorts in this one. The first one focused on Tom and Jerry just living at a home as a normal cat and mouse, but also with Spike the dog. And he has a voice, and the voice actor they got sorta kinda sounds like the original. I'm not sure if he's dead. But Tom and Jerry mess up the house, and Spike is blamed for it. So he's sent to obedient school, and Tom gets to mess with him. And Tom is a real asshole in that, though it's only for the latter half of the short, which comes into play what I said about the runtime, is that these cartoons need to be 6 to 7 minutes, not 11 minutes. That's too long for Tom and Jerry. The first 4 minutes of the short is just Tom chasing Jerry around the house, and we're not really introduced to a conflict until like halfway into the short. Though that was the opposite for the other short that was shown, where Tom was owned by a couple of witches. Which I'm glad they showed 2 shorts, because I was afraid that they were just going to be at that one house and not change locations like in the original cartoon. Because that's really the point of Tom and Jerry, is that to put these characters in different situations and settings and see what they do. Though the second short had the opposite problem. It had the conflict introduced really quickly, but it took too long to resolve it. Which again, like I was saying, 11 minutes is too long for Tom and Jerry. It needs to be 6 to 7. Another thing I noticed is that the sound effects are modern. Some of them are stock sound effects, but they don't really go really well with the screams because the screams are older. And plus the music doesn't sound orchestrated, so it sounds like a poor man's Tom and Jerry. It's not too horrible, but for kids who don't know what Tom and Jerry is, I guess they'll get a laugh out of it. But if you're a Tom and Jerry fan, you probably won't get that much out of this, because they're basically trying to do some of the plot lines from the original shorts, as far as from what I've seen from the previews. So I don't think you'll be missing out on too much. So those are my thoughts on the new Tom and Jerry show. Next time, I'll be reviewing Rio 2. See ya! And if you like this video, check out this playlist of other first impressions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign.